Today's scripture, Matthew chapter 13, verse 24 through 30. Jesus presented another parable to them, saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to the man who sowed good seed in his field. But while his men were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went away. But when the wheat sprouted and grown up, bore grain, then the tares became evident also. The slaves of the landowner came and said to him, 'Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? How then does it have tares?' And he said to them, 'An enemy has done this.' The slave said to him, 'Do you want us then to go and gather them up?' But he said, 'No. For while you are gathering up the tares, you may uproot the wheat with them. Allow both to grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, first gather up the tares and bind them in burdens and to burn them up, and gather the wheat into my barn.'" Today we're going to share about one of the topic related to the subject, how shall we live as a Christian who has the belief to be unified with the Lord in this modern time. Using the parable Jesus said is called parable of tares. As we know, the tares is not good. Yeah, it's a kind of wheat, and all that species affect the harvest and the grown up the good seed wheat. In this parable, I think easily we can understand and accept the idea. All those situations of the harvest or grown up good seed or bad seed, tares and weeds, is related to our Christian living in this world. While exactly we can say the field reveals our mind and our heart, our personality, our characteristics. And at the same time, we have shared about the topic, all the journey of the faith in our Christianity is to restore, kind of process of the restoration, recovery. As we know, many people, including each one of us, has the wound happening of the experience of the past. Not sure, Mikey has kind of wound in your heart? Really? Wound.
Wow.
I don't think so. I think you got everything, right? Parents, and whatever you wanna do has been provided. Taekwondo, computer, right? One of the happiest boy, grandpa, grandma. However, the Bible defines the material of our heart is the dust of the ground, so easily fragile, and so easily be attacked by environment. All those attacks might come from outside, exteriorly or interiorly as well. Exactly the same idea. What is the cause of the disease? Interiorly or exteriorly, excess or indeficiency. As I told you before, the journey of the faith of our Christianity is the process to restore. That has the fundamental faith we have been designed and that we have been created as a kind of perfection of God. So that is our hope and that is our faith and confession. But one of the weird thing to understand is about the tares. It's not good at all. Should be supposed to be root out, take it off, and burn it. Like the slave or disciples, we would like to. We might encounter some situation to experience some of the tales in our heart or others at a time, because we have listened to the gospel related to our mind and our heart, our characteristics. So we have some idea how to dig it out, how to take it out. So easily we can say, Lord, do you want me to take it out? Do you want me to indicate or scold some of the bad thing, some of the bad characteristics of your family and your neighbors and the brothers and sisters? At a time, we think we know the answer and the solution already. Definitely, we expect the answer of the Lord. Sure, yes, if you want and if you can, that do it as much as possible. The rest of the things, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give some help. But in the scripture, the answer of Jesus is whole different. No, just to allow the tares to be grown up, to grow. So probably the disciples feel kind of weird. Why? If we have experiences, encounter some kind of bad thing, we deserve and we think we have to indicate and take it out. But the answer of the Lord is opposite. It's no. You don't have to. You don't have to. And just allow the tear, even we know that is bad thing, and that affect all those moment, all those single moment of the making decision and in the emotion and the relationship, the tails, the bad wound or bad component of the characteristics affect in every single moment. We know that. Sometimes we might be hard, have the hard time because of that bad characteristics. But we have to think about the reason why Jesus said, no, just allow the tails to grow. One condition, until the time of harvest. So we have to think about the harvest. And the second one, why the reason Jesus would not say, yes, if we want, if we can, just to take it out. That is our expectation. However, Jesus would say that instead of that, just no, allow the tear. So today's title is allow the tails to grow until the harvest is the next sentence. As I mentioned before, the parable of this parable should be compared with the Christianity in our heart, in our minds. Actually, the Christianity is to move our heart, to move our attitude, and making decision as a relationship or something. And on there, we have been affected, and we have affected to another people, giving and taking and giving and take the relationship. We can say that with the relationship. And in there, if our hope is to give good influence to our children and to our friend and the neighbor, family. However, time to time, because we have our standpoint, while others their own standpoint, so that kind of a benefit or standpoint might have some conflict each other. or because of the bad experience of the past, we call that is wound. If we have the wound in our physical body, there is a kind of cream or medicine to be cured. However, many people have never thought about the wound that has been happening in our heart as well. It's invisible. So many people just ignore and has kept that wound for a long time, 20 years and 30 years or something like that. And in the time of the fighting each other, arguing each other, that kind of a bad wound and the experience of a long time ago of the past has been come out in the fighting source. So definitely we think if we found and encounter some finding some bad wound in the character of the people, then we will immediately, instead we just going to take out and burn it, something like that, taking the position of the Lord. So we can think out all these kind of things that we're going to do is to follow the step of Jesus Christ, to make the restoration of that person, something like that. But Jesus said, no, don't do that. So in this moment, at this moment, we can have the wisdom to distinguish two different situations. As the field composed with the dust of the ground, all those particles of the last stage of the material, kind of a rock has been destroyed into the sand, and eventually they're going to be the source of the dust. And people and animals and the plant has been dead and buried on the ground and scattered away as the element and the molecule, and eventually they're going to be the source of the component of the dust. It's like that. Our personality looks like one singular, very unique. It's true. I agree with that. However, all those components has come from all over the world, kind of a piece of a fracture, piece of the memory of the experience of the past, or something like that, some kind of things, again, a wound, one kind of idea of the other people, all over the world, and compose into one of the idea of myself. We call that is I, myself. However, in that, there is one very important feature. Actually, that feature is very similar to the power of the creation of God, the Creator. Actually, after finishing the creation long time ago, God entrusted us the power of the creation into our heart. That has been composed with the dust of the ground. We call that is that is soil or a ground or something. So, like the ground or dust of the ground or the soil on the ground has been buried with the kind of living seed that has been grown up to be the life, and eventually that change all over the world, like the forest. Like that, if we have some kind of seed that will be grown up, that is whether that is good or bad. We can call that is all those seed has been buried, has been planted as like the seed, one of the very tiny little idea or thinking. But that idea, if we're going to accept that idea, that will be buried on our hearts and it will be grown up. Even it is good or bad. The good idea, like the gospel, or the idea to be unified with the Lord in our innermost being. We have the throne of the Lamb in our innermost being. Yeah, that is one of the idea. We have never experienced that while we have lived in this world. It's a whole new idea. So we haven't heard that idea time to time and more again and again, and that has been experienced with that idea and understanding. But at the same time, we have already got a lot of different kind of idea while we have lived in this world. So All those things has been grown up affecting each other to my making the decision, my emotion, and my attitude, relationship, whatever. So there is two different kind of stage. We divided the whole history into two parts. One is before Christ and after Christ. Like that, our period, our history about my personal history has been divided between and after we got the idea of the unification with the Lord. Before that, we have been treated as a kind of as a field. Just to think about when we're going to cultivate the field even before sow the good seed, what things are going to happen? We use kind of backhoe to dig out, to take out all the stone and the big roots of the trees or something like that. Like that, before we have the faith of the unification with the Lord, all those things had happening, including the relationship in our church as well, to take up the big stone and the big trees, roots of the big trees, or deepest part of the bad wound in the experience of the past, something like that. So a lot of different kind of things had been happening in order to make the good field. However, when the good seed has been planted into our heart, then what things are going to happen? If we're going to use after planting a small baby tree, or if we're going to sow some good seed on our field, can you use the backhoe to make that cultivate again? No, it's ridiculous. Just to let it grow together, good or bad, good or bad. I think at this moment in our church congregation, in our family, all those backhoe cultivating process has been finished already. So at this moment, the touch and guidance and the working, the providence of God is to let grow together, good or bad, good or bad. So, long time ago, I myself, as a kind of servant of God, I used the kind of scolding and the blaming and the indicating some kind of bad thing, your characteristics of something like that. But I think at this moment I would not do that anymore. How do you think? Yeah, I wouldn't do that because I'm shrinking. No, because I know what was the guidance and the providence of God. Because one of the belief at this moment is the good seed, the faith for the unification with the Lord has been planted, has been buried in our heart, in our field. However, some of the bad thing might be planted and grown up. It's possible as well. Yeah, that's why the touch and the providence of God is different from each other. Secondly, what we're going to think about, what is the meaning of the harvest? What is the time of the harvest? I'm asking, what is the time of the harvest? When you're going to harvest? Sorry?
In the next slide.
What?
Resurrection.
Yeah, physically in the nature. Right, right. Everything has been bearing the fruits. What is the fruit? The fruit has the seed for the next generation, or the seed has been is going to be planted to another ground and making some other grown up. Like that, we have the relationship and the good or bad we affect other people. But the influence and the affection, the affection is to put the seed in that field and grown up with the idea of the unification with the Lord to restore that person who he was originally and to make the fullness. that will be possible when we're gonna be ripe up, when we grown up, bear the good fruits containing the seed. That is the time of the harvest. So nobody, we don't have to be taught by anybody, because the anointment, anointment by Christ has been abided in our innermost being. So all those faith will be grown up like the plant, and bear the good fruits containing good seed. And as, not only as the ministers, not only as any kind of officer bearers, we can give some good affection to other people, our children, our family, neighbor, and making them restore as like the before, with the faith of the unification with the Lord. At a time, we can have the wisdom to distinguish which one is tares and which one is a good seed. We can have the wisdom like Jesus has. So there is a time of the, I will say to the reapers, first to gather up the tares and bind them in the bundle, and to burn them up and to gather them wheat into my barn. That scripture will be fulfilled in our personality, in our relationship, in our living.